Hey, good afternoon, YouTube. It's our first time meeting each other. My name is Kelly, and I thought I would do things a little differently. Um, Things that I'm not accustomed to doing that I normally don't do, which is take a video of myself doing anything. But I thought I would, open up my world a little bit and share it with others. By, maybe talking a little bit about what I do. So right now I'm a site director for a congregate living environment. I've been in the field of health and human services, housing, and things like that since about maybe 2000, 2001. I've been working in that field. I enjoy working with people, helping people reach their fullest potential, and I have a deep-rooted compassion for people in need. So I try to do my very best to help them to get where they want to be and support them. But I guess my niche is that I do it in a way where I try to help others learn how to help themselves. So I don't enable people. I don't, you know, do everything for them. I try to, help them to see the value in themselves and provide them, help them learn the skills that they need to take care of themselves. I mean, isn't that the best way to do it? Teach a man how to fish type of thing, But it's a tough field to work in. I make about maybe $72,000 a year at this particular job where I am now. I've made more, but the sort of emotion and care that goes into this sort of field is it's not heavily compensated in a monetary sense. So I have to look for my reward in others. So when people complete programs that I've overseen or help facilitate, when they complete these programs, they get out on their own and they take care of their families and they get an apartment and things of that nature. Those are the rewards. So when I see some of my former clients in passing and they stop me and they're happy, and although they hated me during that process, they share their heartfelt appreciation for the things that I've supported them in doing. So and that's really the reward for me. That helps me sleep at night. So this particular job where I'm at right now is more challenging than a lot of the other positions or opportunities that I've had in the past. The company I'm working for is struggling a little bit, and the community that I'm working with right now, they have a lot of their own challenges and stuff like that. It's a lot of substance abuse, and it's hard to move forward with that crutch in a way. And when you dealing with people who kind of like manage their lives with illicit substances being at the forefront of almost everything that they do, it's hard to make those changes, especially late in life, when you feel as though, why make a change now? Why not just live out my last days the way I'm doing? So it's sort of challenging, helping a lot in this particular community to see the value in themselves and to see the things in them that I see in them, and things of that nature. But it's worth the effort. It's worth continues to try. It's worth the effort to continue to try to help people be their best selves. Many people have done it for me. I come from that lifestyle. I have a lot of substance abuse history, incarceration, homelessness, things like that. all due to my substance abuse issue that I had, picked up when I was like 17. And, relapsed a couple of times. And, finally I came to the conclusion that the consequences of illicit substance abuse was a high price to pay. For me, it was. I wasn't the sort of addict that could only smoke up half of their paycheck, or once the drugs were gone, they were gone. That wasn't who I was as an addict. I had to keep going until I was convinced that there was nothing left. So I always envied those functional addicts who were able to kind of like say, okay, today I'm not going to use, or I've had enough, and go home and go to sleep. That wasn't me. So so the consequences of my behaviors as a as a substance abuser were steep. A lot of the consequences were incarceration, which resulted in homelessness, which was, a lot of those. I lost a lot of relationships, because no one was an active addict around them. Thankfully, I've made amends with a lot of people, and I now have those relationships back. But it was a lot. So for me, it was worth the effort to make changes. And it's not easy, and I don't particularly use disclosure in the with in the means as a means to try to help meet people where they're at, because of course I've tried that before and it's unsuccessful, because a lot of times people feel as though, well, you're different, that's not me, and things like that, and then they're 100% correct. So but my lifestyle, my history, or my knowledge about those sort of lifestyles and situations and consequences helped me to be better equipped to understand, to have the empathy and the emotional intelligence that's needed in order to work with people at those levels. I love what I do. I love people. Always have. It was always easier for me to love people than it was to love myself. That's not necessarily the case today, but that's where that drive, that enthusiasm for wanting to help people developed. I didn't see a lot of worth in myself. I saw a lot of value and importance in others. And, I felt as though if I helped them, they would see some good in me and maybe help me, but that didn't always play out like that. But the world is filled with problems and strife and struggles, and I'm a firm believer that it's our obligation as a human society to want to help one another. And a lot of times helping one another doesn't necessarily comes in forms of telling people things that they probably don't want to hear. Of course, you got to have this sort of relationship with people. You don't walk around just telling your neighbors how you feel about them, but particularly people that I work with, my clients, my community, it's important that I help them to see what others see by telling them what I see. And no judgment. It just is what it is. Sometimes when we don't see ourselves the way others see us, we don't immediately recognize the help that we need. So New York City is in a housing crisis. For those New Yorkers out there, y'all already know these things, and it's not going away anytime soon. I experienced homelessness several times throughout my life. I'm 58 years old, and so I've been in the shelter system in New York City, and I know how that system operates. And for me, I never really understood why a lot of people who work in those environments weren't as inviting as they needed to be in dealing with someone who doesn't have anywhere else to go. So it's sort of messed up when to know that this is the only place I have to come sleep and stay at. But yet, somebody got their knee on my neck, so to speak. They're not being as supportive as they can, or they're not making this process any easier, making it more complicated, more difficult, if anything. So I always vowed that if I had the opportunity to be in a reverse role, that I would offer the hospitality to people. You know what I'm saying? And I've had opportunities to do that. I continue to do that. So when it comes to working in those environments, I label myself as the queen of hospitality, and that's because I want people to feel as though that we care about them and we understand where they are, and if it's anything I can do within the boundaries of my level of professionalism, then I can do that. So if you didn't get your food stamps or whatever, or something happened, or maybe you used up your food stamps, maybe you sold them and stuff like that, so and you don't have money for a meal and stuff like that, I'm not going to sit there and browbeat you about the importance of budgeting your food stamps, or the importance of not allowing substances to have such an influence on your life that you can't feed yourself. No, it's not the time for that. You give people what they need. You let them know that you understand and that you're there to help them and stuff like that. Even if it happens once, twice, 3 times, no one will ever be able to come to me and say I don't have anything to eat, and me, and I find myself saying, well, this is the 15th time, this is the 20th time that I've had to help you, so I can no longer. No, that's never the case, when it comes to something like that. So just, I like to, open the doors and let people know that I care about them and they can trust me, and I'm not judging them. However, I have a tough love about me and stuff like that. And people who don't care about you don't tell you nothing that you need to hear. I could very easily come to work and do my job and not offer any feedback or any suggestions or anything to the people I work with, or work for rather, and still get a paycheck. But again, that's not who I am, and this is an opportunity to impact someone's life just the same way someone took the time to make changes, help me to see the importance of making changes in my own life. There was a young lady, her name was Miss Brown. Back in the 90s, when I had relapsed maybe the second, third time after being released from prison, I was on parole and relapsed, and instead of sending me back to jail, I was offered an opportunity to go into an outpatient drug program. So I found myself in Brooklyn, in Fort Greene, at Cumberland Hospital, which at that time had an outpatient substance abuse program, and something I went to every day. And met some beautiful people there, but this one woman in particular, her name was Miss Brown. Miss Brown was no nonsense, boy. I mean, she's aside from overseeing other aspects of the program, there was a canteen there, and we would buy coffee and snacks and stuff like that, and she would oversee the canteen. So if you wanted to ever go there to the canteen and buy coffee or snacks or whatever, you always have to interact with her. And I would have the opportunity to interact with her, and and she would always find a reason to have to check me about my attitude, about my way of thinking. She helped me to really realize that, my upbringing had a lot to do with my substance abuse. So she really helped me to make the connection between me and drugs, besides just me doing drugs. She helped me to see what role drugs played in my life and how if I worked on myself, then I can I can lessen the need for substances and stuff like that, And that was very impactful. And when she made me feel the way I felt, I wanted to make others feel that way too. So she was the very first person who strongly suggested that if I wanted to do this sort of work, to go to college and to she told me what courses to sign up for, Health and Human Services. So I took her advice. I signed up for New York City Technical College, which wasn't too far from where the program was, and I went there and participated in the associate program. I came close to finish that associate program too. I'm still very close. I left New York at some point and didn't finish, and I figured, hey, I can transfer my credits and finish elsewhere. But little did I know that's not as easy as it sounds. But I'm back in New York now, and I'm looking to finish that up. Not necessarily the associate program, but to apply those credits to a bachelor's program. But anyway, Miss Brown was very well. I have no idea where Miss Brown is now. I wish I could see her or knew where she was at. I don't even remember her first name. So. But I would never forget that woman, and she, how she woke me up and stuff like that. So, my life didn't change immediately after that. I had some setbacks and stuff like that, but, I never gave up. I didn't want to live that lifestyle for the rest of my life. As a matter of fact, while I was in my early to mid 20s, I didn't think I would see my 30s. Just based on the sort of lifestyle I was living, I didn't think that 30 sounded so far off, and I didn't think that I thought I would die before that time came, but I've had opportunities to kind of like make changes in my life, and every day, even at 58 years old, change is necessary. So continue to make adjustments, continue to make changes about myself. One thing I like about myself, the person I am now, the woman I am now, is that I am fully convinced that I can't change anybody. Sometimes we get caught up in, why is that person this way? Why is that person that way? Those are questions that I do ask myself, but I don't spend a lot of time trying to fix people. I try to make adjustments to work with difficult people, so and hope that they reach a point in their life where, but I don't spend a lot of energy, a lot of effort trying to figure people out, trying to change people, or trying to give people power that rightfully belongs to me. So I don't believe that people are capable of causing me to react a certain way. If I react a certain way, it's because I reacted and I allowed them that power to react that way. So so again, that has a lot to do. Those are some of the tools that I use at work, and these are sort of the conversations that I try to have with my communities that I work with. And right now, I'm looking for opportunities to utilize those skills even more so. I don't have as many opportunities at this particular environment where I am right now. I'm not being utilized. I don't have the opportunities that I've had in my previous position to utilize some of these skills that I've accumulated, leadership, supervision skills, motivational interviewing skills, reflective listening skills, client-centered, approaches to helping people, meeting people where they are and stuff like that. I haven't really had those opportunities. My interactions with my clients where I am right now is hit or miss. Again, when people are accustomed to doing things and handling things the way they've been doing it for years at a time, it's kind of hard to intercede in those behaviors, especially when they either do or they don't. There's no consequence for it whatsoever. It's not, it's mandated or important that they meet with me or the case managers on a regular basis. there are no consequences if they don't, and stuff like that. So people come to me when they want something, when they need something, and I take advantage of those opportunities to help, to recommend, suggest, to do what I can, but I just want to take this opportunity to share a little bit about me. And I think I'll take this show on the road, so to speak, and just upload more videos about me and work, and just get to know you more, and giving you an opportunity to get to know me a little bit more. So feel free to leave comments if you like, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great day. Bye.